All right, so now we're doing relative velocity, and now we're doing question 4.2. It's in the description, so I'm not going to read it out. Okay, so we're continuing. So aircraft M is getting hit by a certain wind, and we need to do a sketch diagram for it. That means it doesn't have to be to scale. Okay, what do we know? Let us see. Let's start off with our equation, so we know we can identify what we're looking for. So what we want to know is the velocity, well, let's say velocity, because the question only asks for direction, or in this case bearing. It is not asked for magnitude, but I'm still going to use the term velocity because we need to work out for our diagram. Okay, so we need to know the velocity of the aircraft relative to, let's pick something. Are we going to say air, or are we going to say the earth? Because there's two different things going on here. Let us say relative to the earth. So we need our sandwich, which is the velocity of m plus the velocity of something, earth. Okay? What's the middle of our sandwich? We're going to go with A. So that's for air. So we need the velocity of the airplane relative to the air plus the velocity of the air relative to the earth. This is just an indicator. This is not really an equation. Okay, brilliant. So what do we know? We've got the velocity of the airplane relative to the earth. Do we have that? No, we don't, but we do have the direction, and it needs to go west. The velocity of the airplane relative to the air, do we have that? We have the speed, but not the direction. So just make sure what you know and what you don't know. And the velocity of the air relative to the earth, do we have that? Yes, we do. We've got the direction and the speed. So the speed is 30 kilometers per hour, and the direction is northeast, which is, again, a specific direction. Okay, now let's do our little compass so that I do not get lost. North, south, west, east. Perfect. Okay, let's put down what we know. So we know that she wants to go directly west. So we're just going to put that in. And what is this one? This is the velocity of m relative to the earth. Do we have a size? No, we don't. We don't have a magnitude. Great. The velocity of the air relative to the earth. So what's being plus to what? So does this need to be head to tail? No, this needs not to be head to tail. And it's northeast, which is this way, remember? So we've got northeast. Close enough, plus the velocity of the airplane relative to the air. Do we know that size? No, we don't. Do we know the direction? No, we don't, but we know that we need to make a triangle, and we know the size. So this is velocity of m relative to a, which is 200 kilometers. This is the velocity of a relative to the earth, which is 30 kilometers. Okay, this angle here is 45 degrees. Do we need to label that? No, not specifically. This is just for reference because we need it in a second. And that's just velocity of m relative to the earth. Perfect. So what can we do? What do we know? Well, we can work out this angle. That's quite straightforward. It's just the 180 minus 45. That's 135 degrees. And what do we have here? We have a very simple sine rule. We've got, let's just work it out. So I'm just going to do this slowly. You can obviously do this in much fewer steps, but we know if we label that, we know that sine alpha over 30 is equal to the sine of 135 over 200, which is the same thing as, you don't actually have to write this part out, I don't personally, but I'm just writing it to be extra clear. And that will tell us that alpha is 6.1 degrees. There's a bunch of other things, but 6.1 is fine at this stage. Is that our final answer? No, it asks for the bearing. What is bearing, you ask? It is the angle. Let's just put a compass here where you can see it. It is the angle clockwise from north. So what do we need to do? So if we're going due west, that's 270 degrees. So all we need to say is 270 degrees minus 6.1 degrees, which will give us 263.9 degrees, or we need to actually round that off, 264 degrees. That's our bearing. What is our magnitude? It doesn't matter. We weren't asked for it. All right. So just make sure that you know what you are asked for.